great pleasure to introduce some very special individuals who are with us tonight. The support of the corporate sponsors always helps make the wheelchair games a tremendous success. Large and small companies alike both make financial and in-kind donations all year to make this event possible. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming representatives from this year's host and national sponsors. But again, and please do as I say this time, hold your applause until all of the introductions have been made. First, our host sponsors. Stuart Cohen, National Account Manager, Veterans Affairs from Invacare. Marilyn Iverson, Director of Veterans Canteen Services. Mark Bauman, Business Manager, UPS Foundation. There are also representatives with us from this year's national sponsors, which include Ciro De Gasperis, President, the De Gasperis Family Foundation. Roger Greaves, Chairman, and Juanel Hefner, President of MHN HealthNet Federal Service Incorporated. Jim Shea, Client Business Manager, VA Account, Team HP. Elizabeth Morse, Government Account Director, Johnson & Johnson Healthcare Systems Incorporated. Robert W. Graby, President and CEO of the Rojo Group. Susan Meyer, CEO, Spokane Transit Authority. Dr. Bob Kaplan, Senior Vice President, Health Plan Design and Management, TriWest Healthcare Alliance. And Linda D. White, Account General Manager, U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs, Xerox Foundation. Our other national sponsors who couldn't be here with us tonight include the Bundin family and Sprint. You may now applaud. We wish to also recognize the support of our media sponsors, PN and Sports and Spokes, as well as our gold, silver, and bronze medal sponsors, and all of the local sponsors and patrons listed in your official Games program booklet. You can find them all there. Now, would any representatives from all of our sponsoring organizations please stand, and let's give them a warm welcome as we thank all of you, all of our sponsors and contributors who do so much to make these games possible. Now, we do have some special guests with us tonight. First, from the Department of Veterans Affairs, we welcome Kevin Secor, Veterans Service Liaison, Diane Hartman, Director of VA National Programs and Special Events, Lynette Roth, Director of Eastern Colorado Healthcare System, Terry Wolf, Director of the VA Pittsburgh Healthcare System, Sandy Trombetta, Director of National Veterans Winter Sports Clinic and Summer Sports Clinic, and of course, Tom Brown, Director of the National Veterans Wheelchair Games. Now, our distinguished and honored guests from the Paralyzed Veterans of America include PVA National Senior Vice President Gene Creighton, PVA National Vice President Rick Glotfelty, PVA National Vice President Albert Kovac Jr., PVA National Treasurer Craig Innenbach, PVA Associate Executive Director of Development Mark Dowis, PVA National Director of Sports and Recreation Andy Krager, and PVA National Associate Director of Sports and Recreation, Douglas Beckley. Also here tonight, we are very happy to welcome Teresa Whelan, Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense, Homeland Defense Domains and Defense Support of Civil Authorities, Tom Lacrosse, Director, Defense Support of Civil Authorities, Office of the Assistant Secretary of Defense, Homeland Defense and America's Security Affairs, Joseph Austin, Chief, and Stephanie Gaskill, Special Events Manager from the Joint of Military Support, Division Joint of Chief of Staff, and Joel Johnson, Special Operations Defense Information Systems Agency, Communications Management and Control Activity. Also here this evening, we would like to recognize a delegation from Korea who are here to learn about the National Veterans Wheelchair Games because they will be hosting a similar event to this in Korea in 2011. So welcome them. I'd now like to introduce David Zerfla. He has been involved with the Northwest Chapter of Paralyzed Veterans of America since 2000. He has served as chapter president since 2007. He is a combat veteran of the Gulf War and served in the Air Forces as a jet engine mechanic crew chief. He was born in Tacoma, and aside from his 8 years of military service, he has lived most of his life right here in Washington State. The National Veterans Wheelchair Games hold a special meaning for Dave. After he was injured in 1995, he received rehabilitative care at the VA Medical Center in Seattle, the host of the Games back in 1996, the first Games he attended. Now he is here representing the Northwest chapter of Paralyzed Veterans of America, one of this year's co-hosts of the Games. Please help me welcome Dave Zerfla.
Sponsors, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen in the stands, athletes, our mates from Great Britain, chairs, I welcome you to the 29th National Veterans Wheelchair Games in Spokane. And I have one question. Are you ready to kick ass and have fun this week? Come on. I'd be remiss and say that it's been a year in the making, and it's consumed my life greatly. And I just want to say it's been a pleasure working with PVA National, the Veterans Administration, especially Tom Brown, the DOD, the local organizing committee, and if I can please single out Director Sharon Hellman, who's been just instrumental in doing many things for this game and creating this situation, and to Carl Lippert, the head of the local organizing committee. Thank you so much for what you guys have done. To all the volunteers, I've heard 3,000, 4,000. Thank you so much for spending your time, giving your time, and I hope you really are inspired by what you'll see this week. Thank you so much to the volunteers. To all you athletes, thank you for coming. Especially to the new athletes, I hope, as I did back in '96, you'll learn new things about yourself post-injury. I hope you will carry these things throughout life and be inspired to challenge yourself this week and for years to come. So good luck. And I'd like to thank all the chapter members, especially 4 or 3, I won't include myself. Ernie Butler, our chapter executive director, Gary Pearson, our past president, our vice president, Brent King, thank you for spending so many hours and consuming your life to get us where we are today. Thank you. But lastly, I would like to thank the sponsors for giving financially, for their determination, and for their generosity, because these games simply would not exist without that. Thank you, sponsors. Thank you all. And lastly, if I could be selfish, there are some fine men and women in uniform tonight here. They represent the Air Force, the branch of service I just really cared for passionately for the 8 years I was privileged to serve. To you men and women, I'd like to do a shout out and say, "Hoorah, go Air Force." Thank you.